Hello and welcome. This is the Chardon Sign Shack and my name is Alicia. I'm coming to you live from Chardon, Ohio. I am the ambassador for the Stencil Smith and I am going to be creating a really cute round today using some stencils as you're hopping on. I would love for you to say hello. Let me know where you're coming to me from. That would be wonderful. I like to talk to people. Unfortunately, April is not going to be able to join us today. She had an appointment that took her away today, a surprise appointment. So I don't know how well I'm going to be able to answer questions in stencil. I'm trying real hard to get my secondary device working. I haven't been able to. I've uninstalled the Facebook app, reinstalled it. So I'm going to try and see if comments will pop up on my secondary device because it's easier for me to read when I angle you down. So let me just give that a try. And like I said, please say hello as you're popping on. And I'm just going to swipe the comments that way. And let's see if they pop up over here on my secondary device. No. If you could say hello as you're hopping on, maybe let's see if that works. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. It just will not. It will not do that for me, and that's really aggravating. I don't know how to fix that. So anyhow, I'm not going to waste any more time on that. Hi, Becca. How are you? I just can't get my secondary device to work, so yeah, I don't know what else to do for that because I am not a techie. It used to be you would just swipe your comments off, and it would pop up on your other device, but mine isn't working. So I'm going to try. Hi, Connie from North Carolina. Oh, the Grands went visiting. We have the Grands again today. I was painting with my youngest grandson earlier. He painted a guitar. So he is 7 and he got a guitar, like a little beginner guitar, and he's really thrilled with that. So that's what he painted. Anyhow, as you're hopping on, if you also wouldn't mind doing this sprinkling, I would appreciate it. Hi, Renee. How are you? Hello, Denise. This helps me grow as a business, and it helps me to continue to do lives, bring them to you. This is the stencil we're going to be doing. I'm doing this on an 18-inch round, and it's primed. I got this at Craft Deals, and this is the stencil. This is kind of funny. I posted this morning that I was going to be doing this stencil, and within about 15 minutes I had a customer contact me and they wanted to buy this particular one that I'm doing today. So it was an added plus. Is that correct? No, that's why. Okay, there we go. I'm like, I thought I turned it around for a mirror image. So this is the stencil. I am always with you. I have a smaller one. This is the bigger one. This is number 8517. So when you look in the search on the Stencil Smith, that's the number you look for. The one I'm doing right now is an extra large. And I have one, I think that's a small or a medium that I did on a garden flag that I'm going to actually take to my mom's grave, and I'm going to hang that by her grave, one of those wooden garden flags. And this is the overlays that come with it. So for the little cardinal, and you've got 1, 2, and 3. And when these stickers come off after you wash them, they're also labeled right by them. Hopefully you can see that, like there's number 1. It's pretty much like when you do these overlays, it's like doing a puzzle is what I like to think. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to angle you down, and I'm going to do the background. I'm going to do a little bit of a sky background with a little bit of clouds. Usually I paint my background beforehand, but I am not an artist, a freehand artist in any way, shape, or form. So this is my my version of a sky and clouds. I thought it turned out real pretty on the garden flag I did for my mom. So I'm just gonna set these right over here for a minute, and I am going to angle this down right there. And again, this is an 18-inch round that I got from the stencil smith. I'm using this little 1-inch brush. I got it from the lady who deals Fusion. They have these, and they're real nice brushes. And I'm gonna wet it just a little bit. I'm gonna get my paints for my sky. I'm gonna use a little bit of blue, and like this darker blue. It's Liberty Blue. I use Fusion. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of Paisley, which is like one of my very favorite blues. I love all blues. Blue's my favorite color. And I'm gonna get a little bit of gray, this pebble. And I'm gonna get a little bit of picket fence for this background. And again, I've wet my brush. Oh, thank you, Becca. I appreciate that. Your freehand is beautiful. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Thank you, Renee. Again, I still cannot get my secondary device to bring up comments. Not sure why. I've done everything I can think of in my mind anyhow. So I'm going to start with this darkest blue up here on the top. This is Liberty Blue from Fusion. Any water-based acrylic will work. And I'm going to go darker to lighter. Usually when you're looking at the sky, it's a little darker at the top, and then the colors fade in. So I'm taking a little bit of this blue, and I'm just starting to work it in the board. I primed it with bin primer ahead of time. This really didn't have any knots, but it does make the paint flow a little bit better. It's not soaking it up, you know, the raw wood like it would. And I'm going to give it another little spray of the brush here and get a little bit of this paisley, which is a little bit of lighter blue. And I'm going to start working this down into the next. A little bit more paisley, and just kind of blending the colors in. And I need a little bit more. Don't be afraid to wet your brush. That keeps the paint moving. And I'm just blending the colors here so it looks like a sky. You know, skies aren't just one solid color. And I need a little bit more water. And I just want to keep working this blue into that brighter blue up at the top. And just blending it. And I may have to do 2 coats on this. We'll see. That white's showing a little underneath. So did everybody have a beautiful Christmas? We did. It was very busy. The grandkids were over for 2 days in a row, which was really nice. We had such fun with them. It was kind of a lazy Christmas. We didn't do a whole lot, but boy, lazy feels good. I think, anyhow. I don't do enough lazy. I don't know about you girls. You had a wonderful Christmas, Becca. That's great. And you're retiring soon, correct? I think in the next week or so. Is that correct? And I'm just moving this paint around, using this paisley and this blue, blending it a little bit to get a couple different colors. I want to add some gray down here with the blue. You know, it's getting a little bit lighter as it goes down. And that might have been a little too much gray, and just bringing it up in there. Does anybody do much freehand painting or blending? I do not. I'm trying to do a little bit more. especially now that the holidays are over and we have all these, I'm adding a little bit of white down here at the bottom. All these, all those custom orders are done, which is just, I'm thankful for that. It's a blessing to have so many people want to order from you, but when you're working and I take care of my dad and trying to fit in time with your grandkids and stuff like that, it can be really challenging to find time to create. So I've still got a couple more orders out there, but I'm glad to just adding a little bit more blue up there. And now I think that's real pretty. I like that. Do you like that? Give me some hearts if you do. I don't know if you can see that. My sign's gonna go this way. I'm gonna add a little bit of just white and kind of just like streaks. You know how there's streaks of clouds? They're not just necessarily even, they're like trails of the clouds, like streaks of them. Just add some of that in there, maybe a little. And then I'm going to add some real clouds. And the thing about this is they all are going to look different. Doesn't matter how many times you do it, it's going to look different. I'm just adding a little bit of white in there. Kind of crisscrossy. A little bit more gray. My brush is getting too dry, just add a little bit of water. And again, that gets that paint moving. So I'm just adding a little bit of white streaks across the sky. And I think I'm gonna call that a day, right there with that one. What do you girls think? Do you think that kind of looks like a sky? You had a great Christmas, Donna. That's wonderful. Thank you. Blending is fun. It's really fun. Nothing is ever going to be the same. Let me see if I can catch a couple comments here. Yes, I'm just spraying the brush, Mary Jo. You're doing a sign like this for your family. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Bev. Thank you, Vicky. I'm just trying to go back and get the comments because I do not, for whatever reason, my secondary device does not like me. And I've tried my computer. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know if it's a setting somewhere. And like I said, April is not going to be able to be here today. And I have to go somewhere right after. So I am getting, thank you, Renee. I am getting a flat brush here. And I just wet it. I got my little cup of water. So I just dipped it in some water. And I'm keeping my cup of water over here because I'm really klutzy and I don't want to spill it all over everything. Get this. So I'm going to try and add, let me look at my stencil real quick here for placement. And I'm going to put my clouds up in here, just a couple of them. So I'm just going to get a little bit of white up in my flat brush. And again, like I said, I am certainly no expert at making clouds or painting. I know how to stencil, but freehand is a whole different ball game. So I'm just doing what I think is going to look like a cloud. Just making, you know, kind of like swirlies. You know how they look like big cotton balls. So I think I'm going to do just like one or two of these, and I'm leaving it, I don't want it all like one color. I want some of the, because when you look at clouds in the sky, when you really look at them, they're not like solid white. They got wisps of color coming through, if that makes sense. I want to make it a little bit more defined on the outside there with some white, like a little darker. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that looks like a cloud? What do you think? Does anybody out here, I know Becca does a lot of freehand painting, and her stuff is just beautiful. I did take a little bit from Tammy over at Cheers to Creativity. I had joined her, she has like a flower group, and I just didn't have time. She does such beautiful work and she's a wonderful teacher, but I didn't have time. So I'm just kind of making it look like little swirls, little C's. And again, with just a little bit of variegated color. And this is just a flat brush. This is an Arteza flat brush. I like their brushes. I got them off of Amazon. They seem to be really nice brushes. And then I think I'm going to add one over here. And you can spray your brush. I keep forgetting I got my getting a little too, let me just dip it. Getting a little too, you just want to thin it a little bit. You can thin it with water. And I know there's like mediums that you can add also. I'm just kind of making it look like maybe it's wisping. I don't know if I like that or not. I don't know. I know you're watching this, Bev, so I hope that you're liking this. Bev is who this is. She's the one who contacted me this morning right away, and she said, I want to have that. So that was really nice. And it speaks a lot. So, and if I haven't told you, I may have, I'm sure. But this is the same thing as usual. This stencil is going to be on sale today and tomorrow at 20% off. And then if you use my code SignShack, you save an additional 15% off of it. So it'd be a total of 35% you'd be saving on this. And it's a wonderful deal. I actually, like I said, I have this in 2 different sizes because I like this one so much. Okay. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it at that. So I think we're going to be done with the clouds right now. And I have to track down my dryer. I am so sorry. There we go. My grandson, like I said, he was painting with me today. And he painted a guitar. He loves to come out here and paint when Grandma does. So he was using my dryer, and he had it in a spot I don't usually have it. So this is pretty, got a little bit of, I have to add a little bit of something there. Well, that didn't make it any better. Well, I'm going to see where it's going to end up at. Get a little bit of that blue. Well, that's pulling it up. That's what it's doing. Well, that is unfortunate. So my paint wasn't dry enough, and when I painted over it, it pulled the wet paint up off of it. So I do not think my stencil is going to cover that. So I'm definitely going to have to go over that, and I apologize because that's going to make this project a little bit longer for you. So I'm really sorry about that. So everybody had a wonderful, thank you, Judy, and how are you? I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Yeah, see here where I pulled the paint up, so I'm going to have to go over that as soon as this dries. Because when you're doing the clouds, you almost want to work when the paint's a little bit wet still underneath. Okay. And it was a little tacky, so it pulled it up. So I'm going to just go over that just a little bit. I still have my paints over here, because I'm going to have to do some more blending now. But it's just paint, right? You can always fix something. And if you can't fix it, you can sand it. Now, I'm not going to sand it. No, not at all. So does anybody have great big plans for the New Year's? My husband and I, we usually don't do anything. We usually stay in and just watch movies. We're pretty low key. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of that, a little bit of blue. A little bit more of my paisley. Just a little water on my brush, because that's definitely way too gray there. Get a little bit more blue. There we go. Yeah, everything's fixable. I know there's been a couple times. One of the worst mistakes I ever made was I made a sign, a leaner, and I did this beautiful flowered background on it. It was very detailed. It was just absolutely beautiful. And I got it done, and I had two of the letters upside down. Normally that wouldn't be that bad, but then when you're doing something like that, it is, because you normally you could just fix it, sand it off, fix it. But when you have a background, then you have to match the background up. And believe it or not, I matched the background up and it all turned out okay. Which surprised even me that it came out so pretty. And I'm going to add a little bit of white down there, spray a little water. Skies, they just aren't, there's a lot of colors in the sky, especially a sunset. Boy, sunsets are so beautiful. I've done a couple of those sunsets. Have you ever done a sunset, like the sky and the ocean and the sunset? That's really pretty. Oh, it's your birthday, Mary Jo? Fireworks. We don't have fireworks too much around here. Well, happy birthday, Mary Jo. It's her birthday. Oh, the Ohio State game. Huh? Well, I didn't realize that was the same day, so unfortunately, that means that's what my husband will be doing. I'm an Ohioan, and I do love the Buckeyes, but I'm just not a real big football fan. I'm loyal to my teams and all that stuff. My grandson, he's just gotten into football. He played it this year, and it's funny, he comes up now and he watches it with my husband. But it's funny because if you are from Ohio and you're from this area, thank you so much, Kathy. You're a Browns fan, and if you're a Browns fan, you know what hard times are. You know what losing means. You know what there's always next year means. Because believe me, we hear that after usually the first game. Well, there's always next year. That is a famous Cleveland Browns. My husband likes to say he thinks the stadium was built on like an ancient Indian burial ground or something like that. Which could be true. I don't know. I know the Browns are not very lucky. I've got some glitter in there. I'm not sure what from. So I just want to add just a titch. Let me get one more. Where's my other brush at? Do you ever reorganize things so you can get organized and then you end up less organized because you can't remember where everything's at? That's me. Okay. That is what happened to me. I've just tried organizing a lot of stuff, and the more I organize, the less organized I am. I can't remember where anything's at. I think one of the last lives I was looking for these, I finally found them, these little cookie cutters, or not cookie cutters, cutting boards that I got from the Dollar Tree. Really pretty, really cute little ones, and I wanted to do torch paste on them, and I finally found it, but it took me a while. I put them in a place where I swore I would remember. I need to get like those clear boxes, and you'll be watching the Ohio State game too, Rhonda. Yes, it's a famous Brown. You might be more Cincinnati. Hello, Debbie. Yeah, sunrise, sunsets. Yeah, Cleveland is it's tough to be a Browns fan. I tell you. Okay, so I think I'm gonna, I don't know, I keep fooling with it, and I just, I'm not sure. You're probably like, okay, that's enough. I just want to get just a little bit more white in there. Okay. Okay, I swear, I think that's it. I'm going to leave it. Okay, I'm going to put that one in the water, and we're going to get started on our stenciling. This is a pretty easy, basic one. I really, really like it. I think it's beautiful. Like I said, I made one for my mom. I'll show you when I'm done. I made hers on like a wooden garden flag. I have to do the other side, but okay, let me set this down a minute. I want to show you. So, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that kind of looks like a sky, a little bit of blending, some clouds? Now, the stencil's going to go down on this half. And this is going to be personalized. I am not going to do this on air, but the person who said that they wanted this did request that this be personalized with a date. So I'm actually going to come up a little bit. Because I'm going to have to put, I would put it down here a little bit more, but I want to put the dates down here. It's going to be a birth year and a death year, so because it's going to be for a memorial. So I'm gonna bring it up just a little bit, and I think that's going to be okay. And again, this is the extra large. This is number 8517. It's an extra large, and it's on sale today and tomorrow for 20% off, an extra 15% with my code Sign Shack. So I'm going to get some tape here and tape it down. If you don't, you'll be sorry. I only taped one end when I was doing my mom's, and I ended up shifting this. So I'm going to do this in brown, the leaves. And I'm just going to take the tops off of these. not even squirt it. Okay, and I'm using these green craft brushes. I got them, stencil brushes. They're domed. I got them off of Amazon. They're really nice. The key to stenciling, if you've never stenciled before, is to offload. So you get it up in your bristles. If you're new, I use shop towels. You can use paper towel. You can use paper plate, craft paper, whatever you want. And then you take it off. And then I like to swirl. The branches I'm going to leave a little opaque. I'm not sure if I'll do 2 coats. I'm just not sure. We'll see. I did 2 on my mom's and I was unsure. So I'm just swirling this in there. And these are little 5x7 pieces of flashing. I got them on, well, actually my sister got me these. And she got them at the, I think it was at the Ace hardware store. Was it Ace or what's the other one? True Value. It was one of those, but you can get them on Amazon too. They're just 5x7 flashing. And I'm just covering, you could tape that, but sometimes when you're doing something like that, it's just easier to just block them off like that. So you don't have to keep taping and untaping and stuff like that. And I'm just swirling this paint up in there, trying to avoid the leaves. Just like that. And if you're hearing things in the background, my grandkids just came in the door. So they're going in the house. I've got 3 grandsons, 13, 7, and 3. The 3-year-old, he is into everything. He's at that age, and boy, oh boy, he keeps you on your toes. My husband and I like to tell my daughter, we only watch him, we tag team him if there's 2 of us here, because it takes both of us to, oh, you like him, Mary Jo, good. Mary Jo bought these brushes off of Amazon, I guess. What is the matter with my camera? It's backwards? No, is that backwards? The words are? Oh, I see. Well, they're the right way, and unfortunately, I know last week Facebook was having some glitches, and when I started this live, it was the correct way, because there's a little tool, you flip it. Let me see. Huh. I don't know what's going on, girls. I'm really sorry. So the words are going to be off. It was, like I said, it was the correct way. I think somebody else, I don't know if it was my friend Sharon or Cindy, they said they started doing theirs the other day and it was the right way. And by the time they were done, it was the wrong way. Now this branch, I think I'll go over it maybe one more time, just real lightly. Just a little bit. So I just gave it a quick dry. So I apologize, girls. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Has anybody else had that happen? You have a 21, a 17, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 6-month-old. Oh my goodness, Becca. You have your hands full. Yeah, I only have 2 kids, and my daughter's the one who has all the kids. My son, he doesn't think he ever wants to have kids, so that's fine. You know, everybody to each their own. So these will probably be her only children, but I joke with her she'll be raising them forever because she had them like 5 years apart. 5 or 6 years. 5 years, I think. And, you know, Liam will be, well, now, my baby sister, Heather, some of you might know her from Sawdust Dog. She hasn't been crafting a lot because she's started a job this year as a librarian. But she's 10 years younger than me. So My oldest grandson and my youngest grandson, there's 10 years between them. So we're going to have grands for quite a while. And like I said, the little one, I tell Jenny all the time, the little one's going to put her in the nut house. Sometimes she'll text me and she'll be like, Mom, he made me cry today. Okay. So, okay, yeah, I like that. That's the color I'm going for in the branches. And then I'm going to do the leaves. And this was chocolate. This was Fusion Mineral Chocolate. Of course, any brown will work. I'm going to get another one of these here, and I'm going to do these in Bayberry, which is a really, really pretty Fusion. Fusion has really pretty color. There's a lot of pretty paint colors there in any paint. I just like to use Fusion Mineral. My friend Renee from Flip Flop Furnishing, she's the one who was using it, and I started with just a white, and I liked it so much I ended up buying a little, you know, color here, color there. So this is the Bayberry. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Well, thank you, Becca. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know what's going on. I know a lot of people have been having issues with Facebook, with their lives. I saw some lady the other day, she said she couldn't go live at all. So I don't know. So I guess I'm just going to have to be thankful that I'm able to be live and do this. So this is the Bayberry. I did the same thing. I loaded my brush up, and I've offloaded it onto my shop towel, and I'm just gonna using that to block that off. Like I said, this is sometimes easier than taping and untaping, and I'm just getting that Bayberry. I've got a couple of these. It just makes things go quicker sometimes. Rather than taping and untaping. So I'm just getting these leaves. I'm going to get a little bit more of this Bayberry. Yeah, this is one of my favorite greens. I'm considering, my kitchen cupboards are older, and I was thinking of doing my kitchen cupboards in this color. Seeing how that looked, actually spraying it. A lot of people do use Fusion. It's actually really a furniture paint. But a lot of people use it for stenciling now and painting other things. It does have a built-in top coat in it, which is really nice. Okay, I'm going to take a peek at these leaves and see if they're dark enough. And I think they are. I think they're as dark as I need them. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a liner brush. Well, I'm going to stencil the I Will Always Love You first. Then I'm going to get my liner brush and I'll touch that up because it's already on there. So I'm not going to need that again. So I'm just going to close up my green, and I'm just needing so little. These are FIFO bottles, so I'm just unscrewing the bottom and dipping from there. Sometimes it's easier than, you know, plopping the paint out and then you got to put it back in your jar. You end up with a lot. So I'm going to do this in coal. Fusion Mineral Coal, which any black. Oh, thank you, Bev. I'm glad you like that. It's going to be it. The one I made earlier, I almost sent to you. Bev is who has purchased this for a friend. She, like I said, she saw it go on right away, and she contacted me and she wanted it, so that's always nice. Because you girls that do lives and stuff, like I sell a lot of my stuff, and I do a lot of custom orders, but sometimes you end up with a lot of stuff that you've made, which I think next year, I've been thinking about it. I don't know if anybody else has done this, but I thought about like having, you know, in November sometime, having a open house here at my house, you know, with like all the projects that I've made and stuff. I don't end up with too many left over, but I don't know, you never know. It's a long year. So I know one of my friends, she had that. It was really nice. She made food and, you know, punch and just all kinds of stuff, and then had an open house where people came in and they purchased. I got a beautiful wreath from her. This was years ago, but I thought that might be a nice idea to do. I haven't done a craft show. I know a lot of you do craft shows. I don't know, have you done a craft show, Becca? I'm not sure. You sell all yours at craft shows. I have not done that yet. I don't know, it seems like so much work to do it, but I guess if you do it, you've got a rhythm down. I think Rhonda does craft shows too. And I feel like I never have enough time to do a craft show either. Oh, you ended up with pneumonia. Was this recently, Becca? Okay. And I'm sorry again that these words are backwards to you, because like I said, it was the right way when we started, and I don't know what has happened. 9 shows a year. Oh my goodness. You did craft shows 40 years ago with your mom? You know, I can remember we have this festival here. I grew up in Kirtland, Ohio. And we have a strawberry festival every year. You know how everybody's got their festival, like here in Chardon, we're known for our maple festival. And because we're the maple capital of Ohio, maple syrup and all that. We have a lot of maple trees. And we have big things, Tapping Sunday, all this stuff. But anyhow, I can remember being a little girl and my mom did acrylic painting. And I'm going to have to post some of my mom's stuff. She painted some beautiful things. I've got like an old milk can that she painted. She painted for me. It's got, I think, brown-eyed or black-eyed Susans on them. She painted a lot of birds. She loved birds. That's why I made this on a flag for her. I know she's not here anymore, but I think she would really appreciate that because she painted a lot of birds. She liked painting cardinals and blue jays and like sparrows and stuff like that. But I've got a lot of her stuff. And she was very talented, my mom was. But I can remember, there's a point to this story. I got sidetracked. I can remember going to that strawberry festival and they had like a flea market, I think they called it, and she would have all her little signs and stuff that she painted, and she sold a lot of them. She painted strawberries, you know, stuff like that. So I've done that, 2 coats in the coal, and I'm going to pull this one off. This is the first stencil. Oh, I love that. So that was the stencil, and it's still backwards, I'm guessing, for you, which is disappointing. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. So this is where we're at right now. And I am going to go ahead. I'm going to save this brush because I got to do some black in a little bit. I want to fill in the bridges. Now you don't have to fill in bridges at all. On something like this though, I'm making it for somebody, and it's pretty pronounced here, where the bridges are at, as you can see. So I'm gonna fill those in. And I have another, it's an Arteza brush here from Amazon. I got like a whole pack of them. And I guess it doesn't even really matter because, yeah, I think it's really pretty. I love this font. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna fill in the bridges here. And it doesn't really take that long. Maybe if I do it this way, it'll be, I'm sorry. Usually I try to do it so it's facing you. But it's really hard to do something like this sometimes. And if you're filling in bridges, black is a pretty good color to fill in with. Like white can be more difficult. It can be, it can show a little bit more, but the black works really nice. I just did a sign for somebody for Christmas. So you're just taking your liner brush and I'm getting it full of black paint, but I'm also taking it off because we don't want a big glob on it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. And I'm moving around rather than the sign. But it gives it a more finished look when you connect the bridges. You don't have to do it. It's just a nice touch. It makes it look really nice. And I'm so disappointed that I'm filling in the bridges for you and it's backwards. The lettering's backwards. But that is the way my day is going today. And I'm just taking my liner brush and filling in those little gaps. And this is a really nice liner brush here. I really like this one. It's called a rigger. I don't know if that's a liner brush or not. I really don't. But I like it. It's my favorite one to do this with for any kind of fine detail. So see, that doesn't take very long at all. And sometimes it's a lot easier with something like this that's a bigger, like a thicker font, than something like that's a little more, and again, I'm just getting a little bit of black on my brush and just connecting those bridges. And you might have to do it twice. But like I said, black is a really easy color. So that's a nice one. And when you connect those bridges, it gives it a more finished look. I'm doing all kinds of stuff today. I'm gonna embellish the cardinal a little bit. Cardinal is the Ohio State bird. So that's another thing if you're a Buckeye. Oh, some tape. And you were doing something for Ohio, you would have a cardinal, because I know there's a lot of Ohio people that watch me, and it being the state bird. And I'm just getting it on and taking it off before I connect those bridges, because again, like I said, you don't want a big glob of paint. You want it to kind of look seamless. And even though it's backwards, hopefully you can tell where I'm filling it in. Does anybody have any questions about anything so far? I assume most of you are seasoned stencilers. I've been doing this I guess going on 3 years now. Oh, like yeah, you could use pens too, Rhonda. I have some of those. I haven't really used them yet. I got some. I took this, I signed up for a class. I can't remember who it was even through, but it was a really, cool, like, paint along class, and I still haven't had time. It's one of those that's always there. I haven't had time to take it. So, I got these markers. You needed, marker pens for it, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of curve there because for whatever reason it didn't stencil right there. So there we go. Oh no, I got one up here. I thought I had them all. Okay, so I think I've connected them all, and probably after the live I'm going to go back one more time and go over it. But see how finished that looks now that you've connected all the bridges? Even though it's backwards, that just stinks. I'm so sorry again. Have you ever just had one of those days where it's like nothing is going right? That's the way today has been. The S in always. Check your L in always. Oh, the S. Yeah, I do see the S. Thank you. See, look at you, Becca. I didn't even see that. Yeah, I almost missed the L, and I did miss the S. I always say sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to get rid of our black for a minute. And I want to go back to my brown. And I am going to, see, I've got this chocolate here from Fusion Mineral. I want to connect these bridges here. Because see, this is really noticeable here. Sometimes they're not as noticeable, and that may not bother you at all. But that's something, especially selling this, that I want to fill in. And you just take your liner brush and fill that in, and I definitely will have to do 2 coats on that. So I'm just kind of making it, like it's the curve of the wood, and I'm getting that brown on and taking it off. And it's that easy. And let's see, there. And I want to do here. And you don't have to do this. This is just something that I like to do sometimes. And I thought it was something that I could show you how to do if you've never done it. And you may have done it. And I also want to add, I'm going to get just a little bit more water on my brush and get some more brown so it's watery. And I'm just going to add little, like, stems from the leaves too. This is just little things you can do to make things more realistic. See how that kind of makes it look a little bit more realistic than the leaf just out there. Okay. And then I want to add a little bit to, I think, you know, like the vein in the middle of the flower, or not the flower, the leaf, where it's a little. They can be crooked. Just all that little stuff you do adds a little bit of, excuse me, I think I'm gonna, chew, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze there. I apologize, I'm gonna look and see if I can get, okay, I wanted to make sure I was cut up. I do not know why I can't get my comments. I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm gonna have to ask maybe some of the girls if they've had any problems with that. If you've never done a live, you can use another device and you can see the comments on it. And it's a lot easier. I don't know why I can't. I don't know if it's like a setting that's changed. Heck, I don't even know why my stuff is backwards today, because it wasn't when I started. And if it's just a painting, it doesn't matter, but when you're doing something with words and stuff. So I'm just drawing little like veins in the middle of the leaves. I think it just makes it look a little more realistic, and you can get a little bit more paint and offload it. And I'm just getting it on this little brush here, and maybe like, you know how they have the little veins that come up, just add a little bit of brown. It's adding a little bit of dimension. Don't have quite enough brown, and I don't want to have too much. And you know, if you do this and you hate it, you can always go back and stencil the green right over it. You know, you could fool around with it if you don't like it. I think it just gives a little bit of a realistic look. And I'm just doing that with the brown. Just little marks, like those little, you know, veins in the leaves. You could also shade the leaves in a couple different colors if you wanted. You could take the leaves and move them around and add more leaves too if you wanted. Okay, so I'm going to go one more time over that right there. And then we'll go on to the cardinal. He's awful pretty. And I'm doing him in two different reds, like a darker red for his wings, so his wing will kind of show up rather than just one red. And I'm just okay. Let's see, and I got this one right here. And of course that's still wet, but see how much more finished that looks. It's still wet, so it's darker there. And just the little bit of definition on the leaves and stuff. I don't know, do you like that? Like I said, if you fooled around with it and you didn't like it, you could always just slap your stencil back on there, and you could start over, just stencil right over it in green, and you'd be fine. So let me dry that real quick. Oh, thank you, Bev. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you love it, please give me some hearts. Facebook is a weird thing. The more hearts you give, the more sprinkles you give, which are these. And we call them sprinkles on Facebook because they don't like you to say this word. I don't know why, because they allow you to do it. But anyhow, the more you get of that, the more Facebook sees people like your stuff, and they put you out there as an, you know, more of like an algorithm. It's something funny like that. So, yeah, I'm really happy with this so far. So I am going to do the cardinal, which the second part, this comes with a second part to the stencil. And this is overlay 1, 2, and 3. So this is the bird, this is the wing, and this is that, you know how cardinals have that black part to their face? And then this is the beak. And then when these stickers come off again, it's the same thing. If you can see, I don't know if you can in the camera there, but like number 3, they're stamped. Number 2, it's stamped above it. Where are the hearts or the sprinkles? Okay, the sprinkles are when you do this, Linda, when you share me, which obviously now I realize that it's backwards, and I apologize again for it being backwards. It was the right way when we started out, but now it's not. So when you do that, that helps me. And then there's hearts down here, like there's a like button, a laugh button, just similar to what you'd see when you're liking posts or loving posts or something like that on Facebook. When you do that, it helps me or anybody who's doing a live or anything like that. It helps them out. And I'm turning this back for a minute to get my cardinal lined up, and I want him closer to the leaf, because I did one earlier, the one I did for my mom, and it wasn't as close to the leaf, and he was too close to the Y. He didn't butt up to the Y, but I thought it would look better if I moved him over. So I'm putting him on top of the branch, and his belly, I'm just kind of resting up there, and you can see the leaf through it. I don't want to go, I don't know if you can tell the leaf underneath it. I don't want to go over the leaf, but at least close up to it. And I'm going to tape this down. I got tape stuck all over me. Oh, that tape's toast. I go in the house, I know I've told you girls this before, and I have tape on the bottom of my shoes, on my pants, I've got it everywhere. But it's way better than paint, because I've done that too, and that's not as fun. So I'm going to turn it facing you. Oh, okay, thank you, Mary Jo. I appreciate you coming by. I'll look for you in the replay. And like I said, if there are questions, I do have to do something right after the live, but I'll try to go back before the evening's over and answer them all. And this is Fort York red. This is a real pretty red. I use this a lot for a lot of things. Christmas, it's a really good 4th of July red. And I believe it's a very good cardinal red. So again, I'm just taking the bottom off because I'm just using the littlest bit of paint. Isn't that a beautiful red? And I'm going to get another. This is one of those where I'm going to have a whole bunch of brushes to clean afterwards. All my stencils were clean, but I had so much stuff going on at Christmas time, so many orders and stuff, that I didn't put them away. So I did that before the replay. So I'm going to cover overlay 2 and 3 up with my flashing right here. And I've got this Fort York red on here. I've got it up in my bristles, and I've offloaded it on my shop towel, which is simply, if you're new, it's just doing that and brushing it back off. And I am going to swirl this red in there for the cardinal. Get a little bit more and offload. Now, if you don't offload, if you are new, Stencil brushes are great, but seriously, the key to any stenciling is offloading. If you don't offload, that paint's going to seep underneath your stencil and it's going to cause problems. You're going to get what they call bleeds. Okay, so I'm going to take my flashing off there and I'm just going to lift this up real quick. And isn't that a pretty red? It looks so pretty with that blue. And red is a funny color. Lots of time red takes 2 to 3, at least lots of times 3 coats to cover up. Whenever I hate when I'm making a leaner and the background's red, it takes quite a while. It takes at least 3 good coats. I'm getting little dried things all over. I don't know from what. Okay, I'm flopping that guy back down there. And I'm going to tape him again. And these overlays, lots of times it's easier to line them up. I find overlays and I find personalization, like I'm going to put dates down here, a lot easier to do when I'm standing over top of them, because you're looking straight on it instead of like at an angle when you're sitting down. It's just much easier to get it lined up. I do like sitting, mainly because I'm out here in the garage and I'm standing on concrete and it gets old after a while. But standing up is better for placement lots of times. And I'm going to just flip this up and dry it again. And I think I'm going to do one more coat on the cardinal here, and we'll add his little face. So I guess everybody, I feel so sorry for the people. If there's anybody watching right now that's like from the Buffalo area, oh my goodness, I feel so bad for you. We're on Lake Erie and we get lake effect snow too. But boy, Buffalo, they have been hit, not just this storm, but a storm before that, they were hit so hard. It's just awful. I think yesterday I saw where there's like 24 people already that are dead from the storms. It's very sad. It was a very bad storm. I know I saw one of the substations, the electric substations had, oh gosh, I think they said 18 feet of snow built up on it. It's just really, really, we had horrible, horrible winds here and a horrible wind chill. You know, our actual was -5, and I think our wind chill was -45. It was super cold, but we didn't have a lot of snow, so we were really lucky. Really lucky. We just had maybe an inch or 2. Okay, so I think that's good. Do you like that? That red? I think it's really pretty. And so see, when you're looking at it, you can almost tell. And if you get confused about these, I recommend, like, I just go and I look at the website at the picture, and it is pretty self-explanatory about what goes where. But it's like a puzzle. So I'm picking it up and we're going on to overlay 2, and right there, that's going to be the black. And I'm going to turn this towards me again, and then I will turn it towards you. Because it's easier for me to line up like this. So this is, and when you put overlay to his face here, his wings are perfect. They're gonna go right there. So we're gonna get, let's see, okay, I got this other red, which is cranberry. It's a really, really pretty red. Hi, Dominica, how are you? And I am going to stencil, I'm gonna stencil his wing first, and then I'll do his face and his beak, and then I wanna add just a little bit of fun stuff to him too. And let me get another stencil brush. I got so many stencil brushes coming here. It's just, I'm just getting a little bit from the bottom. Like I said, I normally squirt this out, but I'm just using so little. I don't want to squirt them out and put them back in the bottle, so this works for me. And this is cranberry from Fusion Mineral. So it's a darker, deeper red. And I am going to start stenciling. And this will definitely take a couple. I'm going to cover his face up. But I want to have a little bit, and you could even outline the wing in black if you wanted. But when I did this earlier, the one I did for my mom, it looked really good. You could tell that it was his wing just from the red. So that's just one coat, and I'm probably going to do, I know I'm going to at least do 2, but maybe 3 here. Okay, I'm going to flop that back down. And your tape, of course, helps keep it from moving. And I'm getting the paint and offloading. And I'm going to get my little pieces of flashing here. I just love the flashing because it's so much quicker to cover up. And just flip that. And so see, you can see, can you see the difference in the reds? I'm using an 18-inch round, and I got it at Craft Deals. These are birch. They're really, really nice rounds. I get them either at Craft Deals or I get them at Home Depot. But this one is, so if you can see the difference in the red and the wings, so you can kind of tell that it's his wing. And like I said, you could always trace around it a little bit with black if you wanted to. I don't want to do that. Now I'm going to do his little mask here. Might add just a little bit more red right there where it was blue. And I'm going to put that in the water along with my 10 other brushes I have to clean there. That's the worst part of stenciling, girls, at least I think so. I love stenciling, I love creating, but boy, do I hate the cleanup. That's like the worst. Do not like that at all. So I'm gonna do this in black. So I gotta get my Fusion Mineral Coal out again. Hi, Jessica, thank you. Yeah, if you use the 2 reds, you don't really have to line it, but I think it looks really pretty with the 2 reds, 2 different reds. The first one was Fort York red, Dominica, and the second one was it was cranberry. Bayberry was the green I used. So his little mask here, again, I'm going to get my flashing to cover that up. And I've offloaded, and I am going to fill that in. And now this one filled in perfect. The one I did before, I didn't line it up exactly right. I don't know what happened there. Something got on there. I'll have to get a toothpick. I should have a toothpick. I know I got them everywhere. Toothpicks are great tools when you're painting for a lot of different things. I might just have to, oh, I thought that was just like a glob. I'll have to take a little bit of paint and go over that. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's finish this up. I want to get his mask black. So I think what I was saying before I got distracted with that little blob of paint there is if this mask is not lined up perfectly, like the one I did for my mom, it did not line up exactly, and it was my fault. It wasn't the stencil's fault. So I had a little bit like of a white, you know, between the black and the red. So all I did was I took that liner brush and I just took black and I just filled it in and it looked perfect. So there's his little black face. And then all we have to do is add his beak, but let me find a wipe here and see if I can get that off. If that's possible. If not, I'll just touch it up with some, I don't know, that came off the lid. I'm gonna have to go over that with some cranberry. That is so weird. Okay, so anyhow, so now we're gonna go on to overlay number 3, which is the little beak. So the beak goes, like you can see how it fits right in this notch here. And I want to line it up. And of course tape the stencil down. And I'm using Tuscan. So here's my orange I'm using for his beak. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think 10 colors on this, 9 or 10 colors, because I use 4 just in the background doing the blending and the clouds and stuff. So this has been quite the multicolored project. It seems like I have 2 things. I either do a lot of colors or just like 2 colors. But when they're a lot, they're a lot. And I'm just stenciling his little nose there, his little beak. And I'm gonna give that a dry. Boy, I can hear my grandkids upstairs running. I don't know what they're doing, but Papa must be letting them get away with some stuff. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more Tuscan. And I'm going to stencil that again, just swirl it in there. And give them a dry. Now you could leave them like this if you wanted. I decided when I did mine earlier, okay, we're done with that. I think what's happening is I either need to clean these. I think I'm getting, I did try them, Sherry. I'm still not the greatest fan of the makeup wedges. I think I have to give them another go. I tried them on, what was I doing? I can't remember what I tried them on. But it was something where I either had a lot of colors or they were real thin bridges, and I didn't work real well for me, but I'm going to try them again. So we've got our bird done. What I wanted to do, well, first of all, what I'm going to do is hopefully I can, oh, there's my liner brush. Okay, I got so much stuff going here, I'm losing stuff. Okay, so I'm going to take my liner brush and I want to get just a little bit of this cranberry and touch this up right here. where I messed that up. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of detail to this bird. Yeah, this is a great liner brush. If you've got one, you definitely want to keep it. Okay, so I am going to get, again, some black, and I want to add, no, I'm going to get white first, I think. A little bit of white. So I've still got some white here from earlier, and I've wet my liner brush. Well, thank you, Bev. And I'm just getting a little bit of white there. And I'm going to wipe it off, and I want it a little watery. And I'm going to add an eye. I think like right here-ish. And then I'm going to rinse it off. And I want to add just a dab of black in there, I think. Just a little bit of coal. So you can add some stuff to just kind of make them look more realistic. And I'm going to just add just a little bit of black. Maybe that's not what an eye really looks like. I don't know. And then I'm going to take a little bit and add some black like in his tail area, kind of like it's his feathers, you know. Just a little bit. And then I want to add, again, I'm just using this liner brush. Yeah, I'll let you know, Rhonda. I'll post it above. Hi, Jeannie. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so I'm just adding, just like I said, a little bit of like detail. If you don't like that, you can go over it. You can wipe it off with a wipe. And I also wanted to add a little bit, like, I got to turn this, like around his, you know, just add some like little, like, his feathers. And I'm just kind of doing them in little curves, kind of going that way. If you can see, and I think that adds just a little bit of definition, makes it look more realistic. And you don't have to add anything. And then also, I think to his nose, I was going to add a little bit of like watered down black right there in the middle, kind of. And you can add a little bit of swipes up here. And it just gives it just like a little bit of definition. And it's just ever so lightly. What do you think? Do you like that, adding a little bit of that to it? Like I said, you don't have to. And like I said, again, I'm so sorry. I really, really like this, that this is upside down, the letters. It was right when we started, so I don't know what happened. So I hope you like this. I think it turned out really pretty. I'm really happy to give this to Bev. I hope you know, maybe either learned a little something or, you know, maybe got some benefit from this. So I did this one. This is the one I'll show you real quick. And this is a little different because I did this one on a rectangle. I made this one. I'm going to hang this one at my mom's grave. So, like I did this one on a round, and this was an 18-inch round. And then this one is the one I made to hang, like I'm going to hang it on one of these hangers, and I'll be hanging that at my mother's grave this week. She loved birds. And I just realized looking at it, I forgot something when I bridged that. But if you like that, I would appreciate it if you would sprinkle me, give me hearts, sprinkle the love out there. And I will go back and I will answer questions. I'm sorry April couldn't be here. And I'm sorry again that I couldn't get my secondary device to work. This is like the 15th week in a row. And I'm not sure what's going on, so it's hard for me to answer comments and paint at the same time. But I'll see you next Tuesday. I have something that I do want to make. I may pop on Thursday and do that. I really, really do appreciate everybody joining me. And I'll see you next. What color did you use for the flag? Yes, the flag is wood. It's on a 1 by 12 also. So this, I buy 1 by 12s and I cut them 16 inches long. And I have these hooks. You can see it's already drilled out. This is like one that I'm painting over. It's a little warped, but I figure my mom won't care. And so I paint them on wood and see, it's 1 by 12. I got to do the back. I want to do both sides. But yeah, it's a 1 by 12 cut 16 inches long. Oh, thank you, Becca. Thank you, Rhonda. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody so much that joined me. And it really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Oh, you know what? I did forget to do one thing. I'll do this after the live. So on here, if you can see, I extended the branch all the way to the edge on this. I did not on this. So I don't want that to be like it's just coming out of nowhere. So I'm going to take the stencil and I'll just move it over a little bit and extend the branch over there so it's all the way to the end. Oh, thank you, Bev. Like that one. I forgot all about that, so my bad. And Bev, I'll get that personalized. I'm going to put a date down here for Bev. She's the one who purchased this. And get that ready. I'll try to have that ready in a day or two for you. Personalize the dates. So these would make nice gifts. That's what Bev's getting it for. But I'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.